So I hope that our technician, extraordinaire, has hit the right one.
You're very kind.
Okay. You'll recognize Shaké. There we go.
Yes.
So working with a live poet, I could know what she was thinking, she could know what I was thinking, and we gradually collaborate. You know? A composer's view, Welsh Poets, a composer's view. Okay, so let's move on to R.S. Thomas. R.S. Thomas's reputation goes well beyond Wales. In fact, he was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature in
I didn't touch anything.
We are slaves to the technology. R.S. Thomas's reputation goes well beyond Wales. In fact, he was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1996. He learned learned Welsh at age 30. Too late, he said, to be able to write poetry in it. I've used 3 of his poems. One for the last night of the Welsh Proms in 2001, 1 year after his death. I wanted to find some way to honor him because he is a great Welsh poet. And I searched and found this poem, which Andrea Weinstein is going to read. It's called Boundaries.
Boundaries. Where does the town end and the country begin? Where is the high water mark between the gray tide and the green? We walk an invisible margin, remembering glory, when the laborer was no more than knee-deep in his acres, and looked up at the sound of the bell of the worshipping cathedral. The country has ebbed over the centuries, taking the town with it, and now the town welcomes itself back, time's castaway floundering amid the gypsum.
I realize these handouts are color-coded, and I should probably say it's the green handout, but I'm not that organized. Okay, so I looked hard for something that I could find, and I chose a title out of that. What do you think I used? It's reasonably successful as a title. Oh, I couldn't do that. Remembering Glory would be sort of too Walton. I actually called the piece The Grey Tide and the Green. The Grey Tide and the Green, because in fact the towns open up into the country, and then, as you know from the Welsh castles, the rocks fall and they get covered with green again. But the grey tide and the green is just makes it as a title, I think. I have a piece called As Ferns, and it has to do with the way ferns open in 3 different ways, and that's the way the piece works. But I've seen it on concert programs as In Ferns. And I have a piece called Templum. And a templum apparently is some stretch of ground that's set aside for thought. That's why you can have temple, and then the temple that is the place where you think. And way back in the 70s in Princeton, it appeared on a program as Template.
No.
And the one that I really don't like is I was commissioned to write a piece for orchestra for the 100th anniversary of the Adirondack State Park. And actually they said, you know, you have Appalachian Spring, couldn't we have Adirondack Fall? And I said, no, you cannot have Adirondack Fall. But I was using John Smith's poem, and I finally called it Adirondack Light, and then had to explain that it wasn't a six-pack. So you have to be careful with the grey tide and the green. I think makes it, but it was awkward. And there are contrasting sections, town sections and grass or green sections. And the sound of the bell of the worshipping cathedral, those of you that have been in Wales will remember the old stone walls, which for the most part were monastic walls. And so those bell sounds that I like so much, I could bring in.